Okay, welcome in everyone. My name is Chanel Elaine, and I'm your host for tonight.
My name is Kia Nicole, and I'll be your co-host for tonight.
And tonight we have our special guest. Her name is Dr. Smalls, otherwise known as Dr. Buchanan. We're going to go ahead and pull her up for an introduction. Hi.
Hello. Hello. Welcome.
Welcome in. Thanks for being here tonight. And before we get into introductions, are we sipping on anything?
Just water.
What's that?
We're sipping on a strawberry lemonade with a little bit of margarita mix.
Strawberry wine.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Plus. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into live. I do have my phone here that I'm looking at. So if you see me look down, that is why. So first things first, Miss Buchanan, otherwise known, her first name, she's now Dr. Smalls. So tell us a little bit about yourself. This could include anything you want the viewers to know, just a brief introduction of what you do. You're now a doctor. Just give us a little bit more background on you.
Yeah. So who am I? So it's a pleasure to be here, Chanel. First, I just want to say I'm so proud of you. You were like one of my
Thank
first
you.
had when I started the school counselor years ago. So I'm always willing to help my students whenever they reach out. So I'm so happy to see you doing this. And a little bit about who I am. So I would say that I'm very detail oriented. I'm very practical. I have a strong loyalty background. I'm very loyal to my friends and my family. I believe in harmonious relationships. I don't like drama, nothing like that. What I do is I'm now a professor. I've been a school counselor for over 10 years. I since took that hat off officially full time in June, but now I am a professor at a university. Very excited to do that full time and teaching students who want to be school counselors and also those who are planning on getting their mental health degree as well. So that's a little bit about me. I am a wife, a mother, and a daughter and a sister. So I wear many hats, ones that I'm very proud of.
I
Thank you
love
so
that.
much. We're going to go ahead and hop right into some questions. You guys who are coming in and out, feel free to interact down below. You can ask questions, add your 2 cents. We love interactions as well. First things first. So you spoke on mental health. Let's get into that. What are the most common factors contributing to mental health disorders in adolescents?
Oh, wow. So being a school counselor for all them years, just speaking from personal experience, I would definitely say that social media has become such a contribution to mental health. From what I've seen, pressure to be on social media. Adolescents are usually very anxious and they experience a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression and really low self-esteem. And with that, come social media and to live this perfect life on social media. So they start comparing themselves to influencers, to their peers, celebrities and things like that. So people who they think seem to have it all together, and then they're trying to live up to this facade that's not really real. So I think that's one of the big things within this generation. Bullying and peer pressure is another thing, whether it's physically in the school building or if it's online, those can lead to feelings of self-isolation and hopelessness, which contribute to a lot of mental health issues later on, even as adults. Another big one that I noticed was, and currently still, is family dynamics and conflicts. So, not a lot of people talk about that. So, we know adolescents, they go through a lot at home. We don't know what their life is. They come to school every day, and some of us are experiencing very traumatic abuse at home. And so that a lot of times plays into mental health disorders within children because the stress levels that they're dealing with. Some are working to try to help provide for their own families. So academic pressure is another one, trying to live up to perform and academically, especially with the standardized testing that we have today, especially in Florida schools. You know, those of us who are pursuing college degrees want to make sure you have like the perfect GPA so you can get into a specific university or college. So all those things can become overwhelming for adolescents, causing a lot of anxiety and burnout. So those are some of the things that I notice when it comes to adolescents and mental health disorders and what's contributing to them today.
I was saying, well, I have a little one. She's not at that teenage yet where social media can have a huge impact on her, but she does know what YouTube is. She does know like trending things that's going on, and she's doing like the what is it? The Megan Thee Stallion song, the song that she recently made, the Konnichiwa song. I never showed her
Oh
that.
gosh.
Never played that with her, and I was shocked that she knew the dance. And I was like, "Well, where did you learn this?" So same thing. So for me, it's like a lot of times they're introduced to these things. Their friends teach them, and she's like, "Oh, mom, I want to get on YouTube so I could do this dance." And I was like, "Wait a minute, that's for like older kids." So it was shocking to me that she actually knew the dance. I'm sitting here like, how she knew the dance, and I can't get it down. So a lot of times, social media does have a lot of impact on them. So of course, we have to manage, their intake of social media. I completely agree with that.
I think too, like our generation, speaking for me, I don't know what generation you're in, Dr. Spouse, but probably your generation too. Like we didn't have the internet as much, so it's like we're forced to go outside, we're forced to interact, we're forced to like be in tune with the real world. And I don't think the kids nowadays are that in tune with the real world. They're online, and like you say, all of that stuff, most of that stuff is not real, but in their head, because they're seeing it so much, they think it is, so they think that's what they should strive for. And they don't know that the people they're looking at, they're not really living whatever lives that they think they're living. So yeah.
Agreed. Okay, so a follow-up question to that can be, how can schools effectively support mental health when students are facing these challenges?
Ways that schools can effectively make some changes would be to make sure that crisis and intervention services. So whether the school has a protocol for students that are experiencing mental health crises, that could include services, connections that they can have in the community. I know a lot of schools do that right now, but there's several districts that are not. Hope is that we have those protocols in place at the schools for those students that are experiencing any type of mental health challenges. And then making sure that there's safe spaces on campus. Any child, any student, no matter, even adults, all want someone that's a safe space and a place that's a safe space for us to go, where you can go and communicate and not feel any type of judgment. So somewhere that's a non-judgmental for students that they can decompress. I think it's important to have mental health days, the ways they can reduce stress and prevent burnout. I know at a previous school that sometimes we would bring out a therapy dog on campus so students could, touch the dogs during between classes. So whether it's at lunch or whatever the case may be, those are ways that can help reduce stress on campus. Providing school counseling, peer support groups, if you can. This would include having trained counselors, of course, that can offer some peer programs where students feel safe enough to talk about how they're feeling. And obviously, it has to be structured in a very supportive environment. So that's another way that schools can effectively support students that are facing these challenges. And just making sure that are providing mental health education as well. Schools should definitely offer mental health workshops, creating awareness about mental health disorders so you can reduce that stigma that goes along with mental health. I think a lot of people think mental health and they think, oh, you're crazy. But I hope that we get to a space where mental health is treated just like our physical health. And that's what I hope for when it comes to mental health, and just bringing counselors on campus that could speak and discuss stress management, anxiety, depression, any type of those disorders that might usually affect our students.
I agree as well. Having an outlet. I let my daughter randomly take mental health days. Like sometimes she get up and she's like, "Mom, I just don't want to go to school." I'm like, "Listen, you're not gonna go." Now I don't do it all the time, but I do consider like, okay, she's been consistent. Her attendance is fine, so I'm gonna give her this day off. So I do believe in giving mental health day because me personally, I need one from myself as an adult. So imagine a kid who's having to learn all these new, information. It can become, overload for them. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so moving from that, we're gonna get in a little bit of a lighter topic because mental health is heavy in itself and it's a lot to discuss. So transitioning, now we're gonna be focusing on travel. What cultural differences have you encountered that significantly impacted your travel experience?
I guess for me, sometimes the concept of time and punctuality might be a cultural difference when it comes to going to other places.
Mhm.
I'm very much always making sure that I'm doing some type of research no matter where I'm going, even if it's in the United States, how people interact the day in and day out in a specific state or a specific country so that I'm not putting up an expectation that might not be met. Because so, let's say if you're in Spain or Italy, commonly they're known for showing up to social events late and things like that. And sometimes personality style, or not personality, but personal space and communication style might be different from place to place, and just making sure that you're aware of the norms of, you know, interacting with some people. Some people don't like you to be in their personal space, whereas another culture, they're okay with you physically being in their face, where others are like, okay, step back. So just those little things. And one thing I noticed, especially within my culture, because I'm Jamaican background, and customer service sometimes is a big thing. In Jamaica, we're very much Irie. Everything is cool. So they're very relaxed and laid back. And sometimes when you are coming from a different place and you're used to the customer service, like everything happening right then and there, it can get frustrating at times. But, just being mindful of the location and country or state that you are going, and making sure that you don't have these unrealistic expectations so you don't get yourself frustrated and upset, because that's just their normal day out.
I will say, I'll add to that. I could speak for Kia and myself. When we did the cruise to Cayman Islands and Jamaica, now they told us we were going to be an hour behind, which we knew. But it just messed everything up because we were still basically going off the time on our phone. And we were trying to figure out if the phone switched an hour backwards or forward. And I think we almost, if I'm not mistaken, did we almost miss the getting back in time?
Yeah,
I think so because we were going
a
based
bit.
on our phone and it was like an hour ahead. So I will agree to the time difference. Like when you're somewhere, you're thinking, "Oh, my phone's doing this," and you landed here and it's something different. So I agree with that. And other customs as well. Maybe certain things you wear, how you present yourself, how you speak. That can be all a part of it. So I definitely agree with that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I feel like my personal experience, I realize when I travel, hospitality is a big thing that I look forward to. So I prefer not to travel somewhere where like I'm not gonna feel welcome, but I do know like I need to do my research if that's not the norm so I don't get offended if I don't get like the southern hospitality I'm used to. So yeah, like for instance, I always have to do this comparison, but for instance, like Houston, I love Houston down, I always talk about it. Houston, Southern hospitality, A1, everyone's super friendly. And then like where I am down south, like we're not all that friendly. And then like in New York, they weren't all that friendly. So I'm like, I like the Houston vibe. I like the southern states because yeah, it's just the hospitality is A1. But it's not always like that everywhere. You just have to know before you go so that you don't have unrealistic
Yeah,
expectations.
definitely.
Okay, so transitioning from travel, we're heading into family. And again, y'all, I'll touch into the topics that was presented to me. What values or traditions from your family upbringing have had most significant impact on you today? That's the first part. And the second part is there any family traditions that you're going to keep and give to your daughter or pass down generations? So that's part A and B.
come from a family that I've witnessed always being kind, always lending a helping hand. So I think those are values that are core within me myself because I've seen my grandmother, my grandfather, my mom, my dad always being kind to others and making sure that they're always helping others out. And I think that's very important. So I grew up pretty much in a family that shows compassion and empathy, which in turn it's just who I am today. And so I hope that that's something that I can continue to instill within my children and my daughter. And so going to the other part of the question, as far as traditions, I think open communication is very important. This is something that my husband and I talked about as far as like traditions that we want to instill and have passed down from her to her and to her children as well. And that would be to make sure that we take a break from the online world every day to have one-on-one time with each other, actually asking each other how their day was, how are you doing, emotionally, physically, mentally, time with each other without any type of technology before we go to bed. That's something that I hope that I can continue to do with her, and if we have more children, and just with my other family members as well. Usually, when I'm with my mom, she likes to watch Hallmark or Lifetime movies. So if I ever visit her in her city, then usually I'll watch a movie with her because she likes that. She won't necessarily ask to do it, but I know she enjoys me just sitting on in there with her watching a movie, even if I don't like it. um, just that time to spend with each other, that intimate relationship, I think is very important. And that starts with open communication and just, spend with each other. The Jamaican meals that we love to cook, like making sure that she's spending time in the kitchen and learning just those traditional recipes and things like that. That I hope when my parents are gone, when my grandparents are gone, I'm gone, she can continue cooking those recipes and never letting that die.
Me personally, I love holidays. Now, something that my parents didn't do with me, they don't believe in Halloween at all. And growing up, like I wasn't really allowed to go trick or treating, but they kind of would allow me to some extent, but they would just wouldn't go. Like I'd go with like a friend or like family, but not them. So with me, I try to look at the positive side to it, just the kids having fun and going to safe places like churches and her school and just kind of places I kind of trust to some extent. So when it comes to like those type of things, Thanksgiving, Christmas, like, the matching PJs, spending family time together. Like I started something with my family, mainly my parents, where we do something together as a family once a month. So that could be movies, that could be bowling, that could be just going out to eat, just doing something fun. And I told them, like, you guys worked a lot when I was growing up. And yes, I still got to go to Disney and I got to do a lot of things, but it's almost like, oh, well, I had to wait for summer for that. It wasn't like up and around. So with me, ever since I had my daughter, I've been on a run. Like every single week, we're doing something. So it's like if I don't do something one week and I'm like, Mommy needs a break, it's like, well, Mom, I'm bored. And I'm like, no, girl, go get a book, sit down, do something. We're okay. We can stay in the house for a week. We don't always have to be on the go. So that's something that I do with her, though. I love memories and creating memories and having those to look back. And sometimes I go through like the videos and everything. And then also something else that I started with her as well. I get her school pictures every year, and I want to create like a photo wall. So it's going to show her like how she matures all the way up until she's like 18 or 21, and it kind of just shows her where she started and where she continued to grow. So that's something I'm working on as well. So just having memories and things that she can look on and reflect and say, okay, I'm gonna keep this as a tradition. Just kind of those type of things. So
Yeah.
that's it for me. That's what I'll pass down.
I like that idea of the photo wall thing from kindergarten to
Yeah.
high school or college, whatever year you ended at. That's dope. That's dope. Also, I saw someone did like a video. I know y'all probably saw. It was like a viral video where like each year the dad was asking her like the same questions at the start of the school year, and like he made like a time lapse of it all. It was so nice. I was like, oh, that's
That's
so.
cute
So
too.
I'm definitely gonna steal some of those ideas because my little one is coming up into the school system soon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna steal that. For me, we spent a lot of time together, like in person, like what you were talking about, Dr. Smalls, like putting our electronics down. We barely had electronics growing up, so we spent a lot of one-on-one time, whether it was just like everyone gathering together and watching a movie or a show. Like you said, whether we liked the show or not, it was just all about just being connected and just being with each other. So we spent a lot of time doing that, and I do want to like make sure that my son feels that from me, and he's getting like the attention from me, and we're actually bonding outside of phones and iPads and electronics. We did things growing up as well and took little mini trips and stuff. So I'm keeping that going. And holidays were widely celebrated. We celebrated it all. I mean, I had grandparents who didn't care for Halloween, could not celebrate with them. So I had to go home to my parents because they were very much not in the church like my grandparents. So then when I go home, I'm good. Like we celebrating Halloween. So we grew up celebrating Halloween. Obviously we did Thanksgiving and obviously we did Christmas and I don't know, the holidays really felt like the holidays, you know. So I definitely want to make sure that my son just feels every holiday and it's special and memorable because it was super memorable for me when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
I
those are
love
my
that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we have a game that we play. It's a speed round game. It's typically you have 5 seconds to answer, but some of these aren't actual questions of this or that. So I'll start the 5 seconds.
we don't
So we do
even
have.
do 5 seconds no more.
What,
It's okay. We ain't gotta start it
listen,
with Dr. Smalls. She
after
good
we
too.
after we done break down all those topics, we're gonna give y'all a little bit more fun. So you guys are people who are coming in and out. Thank y'all so much for coming in. You can interact as well by commenting. If you don't want to, that's fine. You can watch us as well. So we're gonna start off with a this or that. There are 5 questions. We asked our guest what are her interests. Her interest was 1, mental health, 2, travel, 3, family. So these questions are based on that. The first thing is this or that: mindfulness or therapy sessions.
Therapy session.
Therapy sessions, okay. Breathing exercises or physical exercise?
Physical exercise.
Dang, you just flying through these. I thought you were gonna think about them.
Look, she like, no,
I
she
know.
already
All
knows.
right. Okay, so this one's a true or false. Airplane travel is the safest mode of transportation available. True or false?
True.
True. And believe it or not, airplanes do go down, but to be honest with you, it is the safest way. Okay, so upgrade your hotel room to a suite or
Upgrade.
upgrade your flight to first class.
Upgrade the hotel. I'd
I agree.
recommend it.
I like a good view.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. And the last one here is what is the term for a family consisting of two parents and their children? A, extended family, B, nuclear family, C, blended family, or D, single parent family?
Should be B.
B, nuclear family. Well, these was too easy for you.
Too easy. I knew
And
the
the
answer
thing
to
is,
that one. I
y'all,
was
I
like,
do
come on, Dr. Smalls, you got it.
I do want to let y'all know our hosts are not prepped on the game questions. That's
She
just
just was
like,
good.
Oh,
She
thank
yeah,
just
you.
like
knew her stuff.
they're not prepped on the questions at all with the fun part of the game. So, with that being said, thank you so much, Dr. Smalls, for being here. We would like to open up the floor to you so you can let people know any closing thoughts you have, where they can find you, support you, anything you got coming up. You're free to share that.
I don't have much coming up as far as anything specific to me. I'm a college professor, so I'm busy now during the semester teaching my courses all the way till later. But it is October, and so there's a lot of things that go into the month of October when it comes to mental health, and I just want people to be aware of that. Like this month, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Diversity Awareness Month falls in this as well. National Domestic Violence Awareness Month is in October. Bullying is also in October. Family History Month, family is important to me. And it's also the month for LGBT, for those members of that community. So just being aware of your own mental health. I hope that people take that seriously, practice self-care, and take care of each other. It's never too late to help someone, and just be kind. So that's really all I have.
Thank you for
Perfect.
that. I love
Thank you
that.
so much for being here, Dr. Smalls. And with that, y'all, we're going to go ahead and close out the night. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow her or myself or my co-host. We'll be here. Click the drop down arrow. You can follow our podcast page at Live and Unfiltered. We're live every Tuesday. Clips will also be posted on our podcast page here on Instagram. The full video will be posted later this week on YouTube. And on next week, will be on Kia's page. So with that being said, thank you guys for everyone who came in. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you again, Dr. Smalls, for being here. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night.
It was nice meeting you. Have a great night.
Good, my dear.
Bye.
Bye.